Today's reading is Bruno Madrigal from the Sexypedia Wiki. Spoilers ahead! This article contains major spoilers about the sexy person and/or the source material. Please proceed with caution. Bruno Madrigal is the deuteragonist of Disney's 2021 animated film, Encanto. His popularity skyrocketed with the film's release and continued to grow due to an abundance of fan art and overwhelming amounts of proclamations of love from the fandom. His class is Keter, and his source is Encanto. Basic information. Bruno is the uncle of main character Mirabel Madrigal, and only son of Alma Madrigal. The family and townspeople refused to acknowledge him due to his gift of being able to tell the future, which were often negative outcomes, mistakenly thinking him predicting those events caused them to happen. No one knew what happened to him, aside from Dolores, as he had disappeared when Mirabel was a little girl. She eventually finds her uncle living inside the house's walls, and he helps her figure out how to fix Casita. Once the entire family and village rebuilds the house and restores the magic, Bruno's reunited and welcomed back by everyone with open arms. More information can be found on the Disney Wiki. Archetypes. Angst was outcasted by his family and whole town for his magical ability to see into the future that often told him his fortunes. Bruno disappeared one day and was never talked about ever again, or is at the very least considered a taboo topic, to his older triplet sister Peppa and the townsfolk. In reality, Bruno couldn't bear to be apart from his family and stayed inside Casita's walls without his family knowing. The only one who knew of his location was his niece Dolores, who kept her uncle's secret. He tried pretending that he wasn't bothered by his solitude and offered to take up the blame of breaking Casita and the family's fading powers to spare Mirabel. Animal theming, associated with rats due to them being his only company while he was living inside the walls of Casita. Dilf. Bruno has no children of his own, but has plenty of nieces and nephews and is closest with Mirabel. People like to point out that he's supposed to be 50 years old, when he looks like he's in his mid to late 30s. Since there's no other category for hot older men that aren't tied to being a dad, this will have to do. Distinctive voice. His voice actor, John Leguizamo, is also the voice of Sid the Sloth from the Ice Age franchise. In the Latin-Spanish dub, his voice actor is Alejandro Riaño, a famous Colombian comedian and actor who also voiced Lego Joker from the Lego Batman movie. Eye imagery / glowing neon. When Bruno gets visions of the future, his eyes glow a bright green. Gap Mo. Everyone else in this movie talks about him like he killed someone, so him turning out to be a quirky dilf was a pleasant surprise. LGBTQ+ coded. Along with being a metaphor for neurodivergence, Bruno is rather obviously also a metaphor of sorts for the LGBTQ+ family member who gets shunned because of it. The often repeated line, "We don't talk about Bruno," mirrors many real-life experiences of gay family members that people just don't talk about. Long robe. Bruno wears a long verana over a long-sleeved red shirt. Mysterious / technically antagonist. For the first part of the movie, that is. Mirabel's aunt's side of the family and townspeople make him out to be a villain, with Camila going as far as presenting his uncle as purposely malevolent. Neurodivergent coded. Many people have questioned if Bruno is autistic. He has repetitive rituals, like knock 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 on wood, shows affection differently than most people, and socially isolates himself. He's also been picked up as potentially having OCD, due to the rituals. Parental issues. Bruno obviously had some issues with his mom in the past, despite the clear love on both sides. Pathetic. Despite the inherent tragedy of his character, he's also a bit of comic relief sometimes. When Mirabel first meets him, after the song all about how supposedly sinister he is, she's more than a little confused about his dorky demeanor and mannerisms, as well as to reveal that he has been living in the walls, which, to be fair, is a little sinister, in a little room with his rats, surviving on stale leftovers. Later, when Bruno heroically confronts his mother, he struggles getting off his horse and falls to the ground. When the trio set out to return to Encanto, he almost falls off the horse screaming. Also, his pathetic little meow meow what guy baby girlness is a huge draw for many people into his character. Power. Like Raven Simone from That's So Raven, he can see into the future. Short. Bruno is barely an inch or two taller than Mirabel, a short teen girl. Theme song. We don't talk about Bruno without mentioning his banger of a theme song. Many have stated their love of the song, as it's the closest Disney's gotten to making a traditional villain song since The Princess and the Frog, with fellow sexy man Dr. Facilier. The song even went #1 on the Billboard charts at some point. Unkempt. While naturally dark-skinned, his skin looks dull compared to the rest of the characters, since he spent a good portion of his life hiding inside Casita, where no one can find him. His prominent bags under his eyes and slightly tousled curly hair, with gray strands, along with a thin mustache and beard. Fans like to point out that he resembles a Colombian Jack Walton, who is Chilean. Fanon. Recently, people have started to believe that Bruno has a wife. There is a recurring name often given to the woman, Maria. You can find content of her on YouTube, Reddit, Wattpad, and archive of her own. She is commonly known to have short hair and a great personality. Her name even seems to appear in Bruno XYN fanfiction sometimes. Multiple artists have drawn her figure, sometimes with the exact same name. It makes no sense that Bruno would have a wife, let alone a lover. We have no idea why, and we will never know. Fan and splintering. Fans of Encanto and Bruno often write various AUs where Bruno is evil, inspired by Camilo's part in We Don't Talk About Bruno.